PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
PushGapRadio.com, your official Dallas internet station. Thank you guys for hanging out with Shackleford 1 in the main event on PushGapRadio.com. Here's what's trending right now, Dallas, Fort Worth. The power of the N-word. They ran that on 60 Minutes on Sunday. We're going to discuss that. We'd also like to know, how does the impact of that word affect you? Or do you not use the word at all? PushGapRadio.com, your #1 Dallas internet source for entertainment, old school hip hop and R&B, and your information community station. Never average, never mediocre. Online, on point, and on the money. In Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth, we're PushGapRadio.com.
Be cool, nigger. Nigger. No more. Nigger cops.
Have you lost your mind? I mean, how is it that you can disrespect a man's ethnicity when you know we've influenced nearly every facet of white America? From our music to our style of dress, not to mention your basic imitation of our sense of cool. Walk, talk, dress, mannerisms. We enrich your very existence, all the while contributing to the gross national product through our achievements in corporate America. It's these conceits that comfort me when I'm faced with the ignorant, cowardly, bitter, and bigoted who have no talent, no guts. People like you who desecrate things they don't understand, when the truth is you should say, thank you, man, and go on about your way. But apparently you're incapable of doing that. So, taboo.
My bad, dog.
And don't tell me to be cool. I am cool.
PushGapRadio.com in Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. We're going to get into the power of the N-word, or the power of the word nigger. I'm hanging out in the studio with producer and music impresario Billy Bad. What's the business?
That's what that is, the N-word. We're going to talk about it.
That's what's up. Also in the studio, got Big O. What up with you, baby boy?
Hanging out with the two coolest players in the city right now, man.
That's how that goes down. The power of the N-word. What do you think people feel about that? What do you guys feel about that? The power of the word nigger.
I'm personally, I feel I'm not going to give a person that power. That's how I feel about it. I don't want them. To me, it raises.
What person? Is that a black person? Is that a person of another?
Well, actually, that's any person. I have I have friends that I've grew up with, and we may hang out and somehow we talk to each other how we talked to the other when we grew up.
That's right.
We didn't understand the N-word at that time.
Right.
We understood that people was, this is something that the white man made up, and we were supposed to be that.
So do you use the word yourself?
Let's
say this. Have you used the word yourself, Billy Bad?
As I say, amongst personal friends, but other than that, I try to refrain my best from using the word.
Right.
Because as I say, I don't want to let another person hear that and give them power over me.
Big O.
Me personally, I guess since I'm in the age range of like near 40,
right,
38, I feel like the N-word can be a bad term and a negative term if it's used in the wrong connotation. If someone was to come up to me and say, "You nigger, get away from my car," then I feel like they're disrespecting me. You don't even know who I am to even call me that.
Right.
Now, if I'm hanging out with Billy Bad or I'm hanging out with you, it's different. If you say, "Hey, my nigga,"
right?
Hey, my nigga.
A term of endearment.
It's a term of endearment. It means never ignorant getting goals accomplished. It's a way that you say it, and it's a way that you approach somebody. The late great Richard Pryor, the two funniest words in comedy, said it best about the word nigga. You know. And when he had his trip to Africa, he came back and he said, "You know what, man? I'm never going to call another black man nigger again." So I can kind of understand the way that white America can get the negative things, to it also, because it's not cool when you're not what we are. You don't have the right.
Right.
You don't have the right to do it.
You're not part of the group.
You're not, you're not, and you can't just use it in the wrong way.
But you know why? Another reason it don't bother me, because we have had all type kind of names. We was colored.
Right.
That one
used to be colored.
That one was funny to me.
Right.
You was colored. You was black first.
That's right.
They and I tell people this right here. When you meet a person, you're already gonna find things that you don't like about them.
Right.
Find something you do like. You
that
know,
you
I'm
have
black.
in common with.
All of a sudden, you got a problem because you heard somebody else say they got a problem.
Well, they
that's
say
what it came to.
They say that Italians call each other Wops and Guinies, but you can't call them that. You never heard Vito down the street saying they had to stop using that word because of what the N-words thought. On several occasions, my Puerto Rican friends call each other spics jokingly. Jorge never started a rally to abolish the word. Mexicans call each other wetbacks. Africans call each other spear chuckers. Whites used the word nigger for centuries to make our people feel like crap. We finally get the chance to turn it around and own it and punish any non-black that uses it. And y'all want to get rid of it.
No, we can't get rid of it because look, see, I look at it like this: that Italian and Chinese, all them niggas. They're just a different color niggas.
But no. Do you think that in every culture they have derogatory terms that they use for each other that you bet not say? You better not say wop. Imagine this: The Sopranos. Would you walk up to Tony Soprano and call him a wop or a guinea? No, you wouldn't. Therefore, why would you walk up on someone of another culture and call them that when the Sopranos, just using this hypothetically, they would call each other that? But you better not do it. You get whacked.
Well,
so everybody can say something. Here's an email that we received pertaining to that same thing. And the bottom line is, this is email number 3. The bottom line is this: everybody has something they can do or say that those outside that group cannot do or say, and this, the word nigga, is one of those things. White people that still wage this argument are simply stupid, in my opinion. They should read a history book and understand that the black-white relationship in America has always been tainted. Be that as it may, the N-word is and should always be off limits to them simply by the way of the length of history between us. What do you think? Big up.
Very interesting point that person just sent to you guys, man. I'm serious. She is on point. Is that a she?
I don't have the name. They just have Push Gap Radio email 3.
I'm sorry if it's a man. I'm sorry, but if you feel that, you know, history in between us,
right?
That's a great argument. You know, the time frame. You know, we have for years been called this word, like Billy Badger said.
Right.
For years we were taught this. That's something that was made up.
Right.
You know.
But so do you think we've just taken the word, we've owned it, we've taken the negative connotation, the power from it that they used for it?
We took the power from it.
Right.
That they used for it. Mm-hmm. But yet, you know, still today, you know, we don't talk about it, but they're still having meetings up under the bridge, on the Trinity River Bridge and stuff and whatnot. So you better be careful. They punching plates, you know, but it's serious. You got to understand that this is what they call us behind closed doors. They may not call it to you in your face.
Right, but do you mind that, though? If you're doing it within the privacy of your own home, do I care what you call me?
Well, let me ask you a question. Let's start here. What does, if you look in the dictionary, what actually
does it mean? If you look up the word nigga in a dictionary, they said in Webster's, I believe it said it was something that was described as something that was dead and stinky and smelly. It was something that was something that was
about
very
lazy. And I saw something that was of a color.
Right.
All right.
So they tried to put the label, you know, as a negative connotation back then.
Nigger is a noun in the English language, most notable for its usage in a pejorative context to refer to black people, generally people of sub-Saharan African descent, and also as an informal slang term among other contexts. It is a common ethnic slur. The word originated as a term used in a neutral context to refer to black people as a variation of the Spanish-Portuguese noun negro, a descendant of the Latin adjective Niger, meaning the color black.
Well, that's interesting.
Hey, you know, that's what you get at PushGapRadio.com.
You know, he describes his black folks. No, that part right there. Now, see, that sheds a lot of light. If the dictionary says that describes you as some type of black person,
right?
The color black. The color black is...
But he said person.
Right. But the color is...
That's what Wikipedia said. Don't say I said anything.
The color... What is the color black in Spanish? It's negro.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were called Negroes and Negros, but they took it and you know,
they flipped it.
They
exactly.
flipped it, yes.
But do you think like in rap music, I mean, it's nigga sound like a chainsaw. You know, zoom, nigga. And in the music, that's all there is. And when I go out and I drive for a limo company here in Dallas, whether it's the limousine or the bus, whether it's 18 or they're 48 years old, they're rocking rap music. And they singing along with it, and the word is just in there so much. Over a period of time, I'm kind of just numb to it. Right, they say it, and I could give a damn. What am I going to do?
Right.
We're blasting it in their face, but yet still they can't sing the song's a #1 hit. So, you know, where do you go with that?
Well, you let them sing. What you going to do? You know, eventually, that was what I was talking about earlier. Eventually, you understand the word in itself. It doesn't mean... If you personally take it to yourself, then that's the reason. I mean, that's how you get it. Right. Somebody that came to you wrong, they shouted, they were white. Mm-hmm. You know, a white person can tell me nigga, and it don't bother me. Right. You know, if we been joking around, drunk a few beers, you know, he might get a little tipsy. He might try to throw it out there, see how it go. You know, and today, what can you do? Because you have the same choice. If you call him, just like you said, if I was around Tony, and I told him, say, you're a whopper.
That's right. You're not going to go call them that. So what makes you think that you should have the power to come call us that as well? I mean, come on now.
That's the reason why I flipped the verses saying this. I'm not going to give him that power.
But do you use the word? Yes or no?
No.
Big O.
I use the word only with my boys when we're out doing the boys.
Do you do it out in public if you're sitting out public,
if I'm sitting out and if I'm in Bennigan's or something, I'm going to live and I'm going to have a good example of how it should be done. So I will not let them hear me say it because I don't want them to feel that they have the right to say it, because I was once married to a Caucasian lady and I know exactly how it is, and they've told me exactly when they say the word and how they mean it, if it's negative or positive.
Right. When we come back, we're going to delve more into this subject. The power of the N-word, or the power of the word nigga, on PushGapRadio.com.
I'm so broke, if a nigga rob me, he'll just be practicing.
How come niggas are so stupid?
You see a nigga kick his ass.
Dago, Wop, Guinea, garlic bread, pizza slinging, spaghetti bending, Victimone, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal, non-singer.
You gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big guy, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball dunking, titsoon, spade, mulling yarn.
My nigga.
You just shot to #1 on your internet radio dial. Shackle Forward 1 in the main event only on PushGapRadio.com.
PushGapRadio.com. We want to be your official Dallas internet station.
PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Pray until something happens. God always provides. At PushGapRadio.com, where the power is in the name. This is Big O representing Dallas, Texas, and I listen to the new PushGapRadio.com.
PushGapRadio.com in Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. We're pushing hip-hop and R&B from back in the Gap. Before we went to the break, we were discussing the power of the N-word. A lot of people have been put off by the N-word or the power of the word nigger. All right, this was ran on 60 Minutes on Sunday, just in case you missed it. Here's an email that says, words like nigger only have as much power as you give them. This word has been held over black folks' head for so long that a non-nigga, that's N-I-G-G-A, knows if you want to get some smack going, just say that word and all hell will break loose. Why do you all give a care who says it and why they say it? Has anyone ever heard the saying, it ain't what people call you, it's what you answer to? Good grief, the word will keep you down and offend you as long as you let it. Has anybody steps outside of their boundaries and ever said that to you? A non-African American or a non-Negro? Big up.
Yeah, and it wasn't a good outcome. It was
Okay.
Was not a good outcome for that person who even decided to figure he could use the word in the wrong context.
With impunity, huh? Without worrying about the punishment.
He did it so to anger me, to upset me, and it worked. I was just a mere adolescent. I was in the 7th grade, and I let him have it. Broke his nose in 3 places.
Right.
But as a grown man, I understand that, you know, the error in my ways, and maybe I should have handled the situation better.
So you have better control now in that
Of course. But
I don't believe him. Don't mess with Big O. Don't call him that. Not the N-word.
But it's a term of endearment when it's with us.
Within the group.
When it's within black people.
Right.
Now, I went to school in DeSoto Junior High, so that's a school that's predominantly white.
Right.
Blacks were the minority. There were only, I believe, a total number of like 28 black students at the school at the time. So I was one of the black students, and I came from Highland Hills moving to DeSoto. Therefore, I was not used to being the person who was more or less the token Negro or whatever. I was there being myself, and of course they had to call me the ER ending word, you know, nigger, which is, to me, that's when it goes over the boundary.
Right.
Now, I understand that they want to get rid of the word, that everyone wants to cease the word, stop the word, let the word be dead.
Abolish it. Yeah.
Abolish it, so to say. But why is it so powerful right now? Because they can't say it.
Well, that's because you give them that power. Look, this is the question I want to ask. To me, it has no bearings at all.
Right.
One of the reasons stating is, if I'm reading the Bible, I haven't heard nobody, not one time that I know of, that said nigga is a black person, and I can't take it from that.
Right.
I believe in that. I have my faith in this, so it has no weight at all in my life. Only to me that I let other people affect me with that word at all. And like I say, that's if you understand the word. It's a word.
So has anyone ever stepped outside of the boundaries and called you that in the workplace, or someone of another culture?
Yes. I hear it every day in my line of work. You know, I've been off the nigga this and nigga that. And as we sit up here and just laughed about it a few minutes ago, that's the same approach that I take when I hear this word from someone. Now it's a little bit more different because I'm talking on the phone. So they can't see me, they don't know me, but maybe by my voice and the slang, the way I speak, maybe they can, you know, put the two together. But it's funny, you don't even know me. So you ain't sitting in front of my face like you really just tough and bad, telling me that you some type of nigga. So no, and it helps. I took that. That's what I took from it. As in the word in itself, it has no weight at all. I can retaliate and say, suppose I put the same fact up. You know, somebody call you a nigga that's from another
culture or ethnicity,
right. And I sit back and say, no, you a nigga. Right. So now they still they're going like that. You know, they scratching their head now, trying to figure it out. So, you know, it's just as well they throw it to me.
Well, we have another email here from Joe Taylor in Dallas. He said, why do so-called white people want to call black people the N-word in the first place? They constantly whine about us using it, but complain that they cannot. Well, why do you want to? What we say to each other is none of your business. I do not care what you call each other, and frankly, I do not care how many times you use the N-word in the privacy of your own home amongst yourselves. What you really want is the freedom to insult anyone you feel like with impunity. But I advocate black people kicking your white asses every time you try it. So do you think that automatically when a white person calls a black person the N-word,
the way the word is used.
Right.
Look, if a white kid sitting at home right now, they listen to Snoop Dogg or somebody, and the record saying nigga, nigga, nigga. Mama and Papa downstairs going crazy because that kid listen. This is number one. But you know what? The whole thing is about this. They want to be able to express themselves. It's actually, we bring something to the table. They think it's cool. So if they sitting around their buddy, they going, "What's up, nigga?" But there ain't number 3 white folks in the house.
That's right.
I ain't seen not one black man in that crowd, but they call each other nigga. But now when they come around us, Now they got to shield it. Now they got to like.
So Big O, what's your outlook on the N-word as we start to wrap up here? What do you think we should go with it? Should we stop or should we use it in a limited sense?
I mean, Billy Bad just put it to you guys the way it should have been put from the start. They look at it now as if it's cool, you know, and basically they want to be cool. And
right.
If you really think about it, it's so powerful, and it's made this thing worldwide and nationally because we are cool. And
that's right.
And seriously, seriously, they have, you know, issues, I guess, with coolness, and they want to be cool. So if you're going to be accepted, they want to be
That's
us.
the thing to be.
They want to be one of us. I know you guys, maybe everybody around here watched Dave Chappelle episode. Where they, you know, Clayton Bigsby.
Right.
Okay.
He's a Klansman, but he's
a Klansman, but he's black.
And blind.
And he's blind, but he doesn't know he's black. Okay. But he stops, and they stop, and they see a group of white kids in a car, and they call them niggas.
Right.
And he called them a bunch of niggas because he heard that music.
Right.
And just that fast, that made those white kids say, wow, he called us niggers.
Here's a story real quick that I'm going to tell you. I told you I'm a limousine driver. One day, I picked up some kids from a wedding over in Highland Park by SMU, Southern Methodist University. The car broke down at Mockingbird and 75. As we went inside the bookstore to wait, I called ahead to get another car to come pick them up. As we were standing there, a little 5-year-old white boy turns to me and said, "Will our driver be white?" I looked immediately in the little white boy's face and said, "Absolutely, sir. Would you like a white driver?" Then I proceeded to get on the phone and call my company and told him that the little white boy wanted a white driver. Fortunately, Mark was on his way. He's a white driver in a white limousine, so you can imagine the fun I had with that. The woman who was chaperoning him was losing her freaking mind, but it was a beautiful thing. I said that to say this: it's taught. That little kid don't know anything about that until someone in his household brought that up. What's your opinion? What do you think? Hit us up at 972-591-8777, or you can check us out at Podomatic. Keyword search pushgapradio.com. Also check us out on YouTube. Become a follower. And remember this: the people that follow us aren't followers. Billy Bad.
We keep it real.
On pushgapradio.com. Big O.
Keeping it real.
Wow, these people are very limited
well,
in
you know
what they
what?
have
no,
to say.
Excuse me, because, you know, I'm down with pushgapradio.com.
That's what that is. You're down with Pushgap? That's what I need to hear. We say that because we're devastating, titillating, definitely invigorating. Not like I'm insinuating that. I think we're stimulating. Reason that we get good ratings because we don't be perpetrating. All we got to do is touch a microphone. We push Gap Radio. We're pushing hip-hop and R&B from back in the Gap. Hamilton Park, stand up. We'll catch you next week.
For the hottest old school hip hop and R&B, entertainment, and current events, stay connected to pushgapradio.com. Pushgapradio.com. We want to be your official Dallas Internet radio station.
Pushgapradio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. Pushgapradio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
It's how Dallas Fort Worth works.